Life before the net when people tried to learn the whole facts. Amazon, Bezos, monopolize the pesos. Hey, you see, I'm trying to change the motherfucking game.
Yeah. You already know what it is. It's your boy, Mr. I Am Eddie Jackson. We back with another one, man. Listen, it's been going up. The director's den been going crazy. All the support from the community, this past week is just, I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me, just kind of, really just talking about how, this platform has impacted their life in some way, shape, form, whatever gems they've been able to take from the podcast. It's all been great. It's all been love, man. Today, we're doing our third installment of the Game Changer segment. So this is season 2. This is really episode 20. But it's the third installment of the Game Changer segment, a platform where we allow basically, people that's impacting the sports community to come and just talk about what they got going on, man. I'm big on giving people their flowers now while they're here. And, I'm big on, for one, this episode is special to me because I used to have this player's picture up in a newspaper on my wall in Pickerington. I ain't no cap. Like, I was an avid fan. I was a young boy looking up to these guys and just seeing the tenacity that they had and then, seeing how Pick Central did get waxed on, a few times in 1 year. I got a lot to talk to DJ and Keith about because, I feel like, it was some unfair things going on that year, but yeah, they did us in bad in a scrimmage and in the game. And I remember them vividly because it was my freshman year. But nonetheless, they are doing some amazing things out here in the community. Dominic Jones has started, him and Keith they're literally leading generations of young football players and athletes down this just amazing path. Really giving them everything that I feel like when we came up as, playing Little League, playing, Pop Warner football, if you play for the Raiders, Mifflin Sharks, Cougars, or whoever you play for, I feel like you really didn't get this type of love for real. And it shows, man. It's showing. And obviously, as we look at the market of what college football looks like today, NFL football looks like today, high school football looks like today, it's a totally different beast than when we was coming out. But I feel like it's all just and due. I definitely have to give them the introduction that they deserve before I bring them on. Dominic Jones, for one, is two legends. Two Brookhaven legends. And if you know of Brookhaven, like I said, you already know that's probably going to pop up a couple times around here. But Brookhaven legends. Dominic Jones, before his tenure with the Cavaliers organization, was a standout player for the Cavaliers Gladiators Arena Football League. He quickly became a fan favorite, known for his powerful hits and dynamic kick returns, especially the one that almost messed up my edge up when I was out west on the hilltop and I see him hit, man, I don't even know old Bull's name. I forgot it that fast. He played for the Buckeyes, though. We're going to leave it there. I almost lost my whole edge up that day. He quickly became a fan favorite, like I said, known for his powerful hits and dynamic kick returns. By the time he retired in 2014, he had 3 franchise records, most tackles in a single season, most defensive touchdowns in a single game, and most return yards in franchise history. That's crazy. Today, Dominic is a beacon of inspiration in Columbus, dedicating his time to working with youth and student athletes. As a highly sought-after motivational speaker, he travels across the United States sharing his message. Everybody knows him as DJ, especially probably if you're from the Columbus area. He embodies the philosophy, your lifestyle determines your legacy. Dominic is the co-founder of Legacy U and the executive director of the Legacy Youth Football League in Columbus, Ohio. He is a devoted father of 4, husband to his wife, Heather Jones. Over 6 years, he has made significant contributions to the Cleveland Cavaliers as the manager of community and youth affairs and to the Columbus Destroyers as the director of football operations. His creative marketing strategies and impactful community programs have made a lasting difference. In recognition of his charitable efforts, Dominic received a NAACP Hometown Hero Award in 2014 in Los Angeles, California. He remains committed to giving back through local charities and organizations. Over the last 5 years, he's had this road dog named Keith Massey, has dedicated himself to educating and mentoring the youth. He has taught exercise science at a local charter high school, coaching football also at Marion Franklin High School, and led the boys track team as a head coach. Beyond sports, Keith has mentored student athletes, guiding them and planning for college and life beyond sports. His core message is simple yet powerful: your life, your legacy, a mantra from a man who believes in action over words. Keith continues to make a difference in his community, currently working as a retention specialist for at-risk youth at a local charter school, while pursuing certification as a personal trainer and sports conditioning coach. He trains both youth and adult athletes across various sports. Keith is set to lead the sports conditioning phase of Legacy U. As co-founder of Legacy U and associate director of the Legacy Youth Football League in Columbus, Ohio, Keith brings a wealth of experience and passion. After a stellar All-American college football career and earning a Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communications from Kentucky State University, he continued to support athletes academically as the academic athletic director assistant, while completing a master's in public administration with a concentration in human resources. He discovered his passion for strength and conditioning, taking on the role of strength and conditioning coach for Kentucky State University football team. This role allowed him to stay connected to the game and contribute to the development of the next generation of athletes, a mission close to his heart. Get ready for an inspiring discussion with Keith Massey and Dominic Jones. We live on the Director's Den. I'm going to go ahead and bring these two gentlemen on because I feel like the introduction was definitely well due. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, boss? What up?
What up, man? How's y'all week been, man?
I've been good, man. You know, midweek. Well, it's only Tuesday right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like, man. I feel like in my world, man, my world don't slow down. Sometimes I work from home. I direct. I do all this stuff, and a lot of the 90% of everything I do is here. So time just like flies by, you know, in my life, man. So I'm always asking people, how your week been?
Yeah.
Because that's the best way to judge. Keith, how's everything been, man? Your way?
Busy, man. Just super busy. Like DJ just said, it's only Tuesday, man, and it's been nonstop. You know, starting from 5 a.m. on up to today. I gotta go work out after I get off of here. So you know, my night probably won't be ending until about 11:30, 12. You know, and then I gotta go get ready for the next day. So, you know, it's just busy. You know, but it's still going good.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's good, man. That's good. You know, I always tell people, man, as long as you're being productive, you know what I mean? Busy ain't bad, you know. There's many nights I'm up till 2 a.m., wake right back up at 6, you know. That's just what the grind calls for, you know what I mean? So I think that's a whole different beast. You know, I got you guys on here. You know, obviously I got a lot of questions, man, but I would love for y'all to just start, you know, just giving your own introduction, man. Telling the world about who you are and what you do, and in your own words.
Keith, you got it.
Start? Keith, you want to start?
Go first. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm Keith Massey again. I'm the co-founder of Legacy U. You know, sometimes, you know, when I hear myself say the co-founder of Legacy U, you know, it's kind of like it gives me chills a little bit because of all the work that we've been doing. But man, on a daily basis, man, I'm working with athletes in the strength and conditioning sector from ages as young as 5 on up to, you know, adult athletes. You know, even at our gym down on the south side of Columbus, I'm in there as early as 5 a.m. and sometimes as late as 10 p.m. You know, but again, that's again, I'm going to undersell what I do on a daily basis. But again, we got the youth programming going as well, where we're about to kick off our Tackling the Books program, you know, where our athletes and kids involved with Legacy, they'll be having to join this summer reading program. You know, we want to keep these kids learning and kind of like locked in on education, even though it's the summer, right? You know, and
Right.
some of our youth around the city, you know, they struggle with literacy and things of that nature. So just keeping them locked in and giving them something to do. And of course, we're giving out awards for the kids that read the most books. But again, man, that's the short of what we do. So I'm not gonna be too long winded, but that's the short of what I'm doing at the current moment.
It sounds like you busy, man. Definitely
Yeah.
sound like you busy, you productive. Sound like you pouring into the community, Dom.
Yeah, man. Like Keith said, man, co-founder of Legacy U. Um, Man, it's been a dope journey for many people who don't believe or don't even know. Keith Massey is my brother. We both like my biological brother, not my play brother. We both got the same.
Crazy.
Yeah, man, we both got the same father. Um, found out we was brothers at 17, man, and been rocking ever since, right? So our story alone is crazy. And like you said, man, I mean, we embarked on this journey. We both felt like we were Division 1 athletes, but we didn't have the tools to be successful at life once the game was done. So we decided to form Legacy U. And we started with the idea principle of maximizing student athletes' potential on and off the field, and we didn't know what that looked like then, but we knew that we wanted to impact kids beyond just the games, beyond just wins and losses. We wanted to make sure that kids were able to see the world through the game. I think Keith would agree that the game has been good to us, the game of football. And I don't just mean just on the field, I mean literally off the field. Some of our best times of our lives have come from the people that we've been able to meet, places that we've been able to go that we never would have been if it wasn't for the game of football. You know what I mean? So now we're able to um, not so much focus on the game, so to speak, but we're able to provide experiences and exposure opportunities, after school programming, summer programming, and different things holistically that we think our families could benefit from. So it's been dope, man. You know what I mean? We just keep trying to reinvent ourselves, man. I always say set the bar, just set it again.
Hey, that's a bar right there. That's a bar right there. I'm gonna have to steal that one. Man, talk about y'all's journey, man. Columbus boys. You know what I mean? Like, it's not too many of us, that really, get out, that really, make something of ourselves, and really, especially from the time that we came from. You're talking about 90s, early 2000s, and you're talking about being thoroughbreds in football and on and off the field. Talk about the journey, man. How did it mold you? And, what events may, either one of y'all had an experience that, maybe could have knocked you off course?
I'll go first. Just in our journey, man, and I was talking to a young guy like 2 days ago, and he was asking me about, what little league team I played for, and I told him I didn't play little league football, and the way he looked at me was just like damn, like, well, how did you make it, and I think with DJ, he's a little league legend, right? So
Right.
he kind of was getting molded at an early age, where for me, man, I started playing football when I was in 8th grade, so when I kind of like, man, they told me that I wasn't going to be nothing but 6 foot. So the NBA dreams are probably going, it's not going to happen. You probably need to start taking football a little serious, and to this day, it's one of my mentors, like my uncle, he told me that. And again, it kind of set me straight, like, to like, yo, put your focus into football and it's going to work out for you. And I think, man, that was some hard advice to take at the moment, but it was some of the realest advice, so, that was a moment in my life where I kind of stepped back and I'm like, all right, I'm going to put my all into it and see where I could go with it. And, that was the first time in my life I had seen what real hard work and dedication was going to do
Mm,
for myself. And, I kind of like carry that on with me for the rest of my life. Like, just understanding, like, knowing when to hold them and when to fold them. Right. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And, I had to give up basketball. I love basketball to this day. I'm not going to say more than football, but, just understanding, like, it was okay to let it go and focus in on it. And that was kind of like that moment that kind of like, I made that pivot. And ever since then, like DJ said, when we setting that bar for yourself and you kind of keep climbing the ladder, because it doesn't stop there, right? And,
Right.
That's just one of those moments that jumps out to me because I always have to tell these kids that it doesn't matter when you start, you just gotta start, right? And
Right.
that was one of the moments for myself.
Yeah, I think consistency is definitely key. Keith, talk about finding out that you and DJ are related, and y'all brothers. Like how pivotal was that for you? Just in your own words.
Oh man, again, out of the two of us, I'm the least talkative about this because I mean, it is really like it was a moment for me. Like, and again, at 17, 16, 17 years old, you don't really know how to react to it, right? And I'm knowing this
Yeah.
guy. I kind of had an inkling about him, and was always whispers about it. But like like this guy is damn near a superhero on the football field, right? I think I'm good, but I know when I see somebody else, like, oh, he's really good. You know what I'm saying? So, just having that feeling, like, man, damn, it's a guy out there who was my brother. We were the same age, we got the same interests, and we hadn't met till we were 17. So it was like a lot of questions that I had for my mom, for my dad, for anybody that I can ask, like, why are we just now meeting just now? Like, I think we're the best of friends now, but like you can imagine growing up with him. I always tell him, like, if I grew up with him, like I would have been the best one, you would have been number two. And it's just like, just because of how competitive we are now, just imagine us growing up together. I'm bigger than him, I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm a little bit prettier, so it would have been great. But nah, you just, again, just taking these moments in and just looking back at that time, it was like shit. It was just like, it was an emotional roller coaster because it was just like you meet somebody at 17 and it's just like you look at him like, you meet him and he a little bit different than I am. He a North Sider. I come from the South Side, so it's like you got to get used to some of his lingo and the way he talk, some of the things he like. Some of the places that he goes that I wouldn't normally go, but we mesh well. From the beginning, man. Our personalities are kind of like super different, so like, it makes it easy for us to get along. You know what I'm saying? But nah, again, like at that time, if I think about it, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster, and just like, yo, like, how do I go about this? You don't really know how to, react to those type of feelings when you're 17, as opposed to right now at 37. I would have understood it, but then it was just like, man, it was just like, damn, like this is really happening. It felt like a movie at certain times.
That's good. You said it felt like this only happens in movies. This is all we
Right.
know. Like this all only happens in movies. Dominic, talk about finding out that Keith is your brother. How did that impact you? From just your football career and just growing up emotionally.
Yeah, man. I was shocked, just like like anybody else would. I mean, I was just like, "What?" Like, nah. And once we got a chance to talk and we chopped it up, and then I found out it was true. We approached our father, God rest his soul, and it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like like that's your brother. And so from there, for me, it was instantly like, all right, that's my brother. How can I get his ass from Marion Franklin to Brookhaven? You know what I'm saying? And at that point in time, Columbus City Schools, was open enrollment. Like you can pretty much be from any side of town, and it was busing you anywhere. You know what I mean? You can get it, pretty much get anywhere. You could transfer, still be eligible to play, as long as you transfer before a certain date. Like, so the rules are a little different. And so that was my first part. It was just like, yo, like we started working out together. We started kicking it together. Like, so we was building a relationship off the field. And then that's when it was like, yo, one day was working out, like, let's get you over to the Haven. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think again that initial shock of like, damn, but not really fully knowing how to process it. And I think there's a whole nother discussion about black families and generational curses and why things are the way that they are, right? I think that's a whole nother conversation. But I mean, listen, like I was happy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, damn, I got
Right.
another brother, like, and who had the same interest that I like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, like, bro, good at football, like, nigga, come rock with me. So, um, yeah, man, it was dope. It was dope.
That's good, man. That's good. I come from a big family. My dad had all boys. 7 boys. and you know, he was a basketball player. You know, he played at Linda McKinley with Buster Douglas and grew up with all
Mhm.
them. And you know, we was never basketball dudes. You know, we was just football dudes. So he
Yeah,
felt like there wasn't too much he could give us. And you know,
yeah,
I was the smallest one out of all of them. My oldest brother Mark, he played for Whetstone. He man, he's 6'8", you know, 6'8", 6'9". You know, my youngest brother, you know, he 6'4", 6'5". Like, you know, I'm stretching it when I say I'm 6 foot, you know. So, you know, to me, it was more so like about trying to just always stand out any way that I could, you know what I mean? Because you just had those brother moments, man. And we all had different moms too. So, you know, it was different in that way as well, you know. So I'm sure once you found out, like once y'all really got to bond, you know what I mean? It's almost like blood can't make you no closer, you know what I mean? Talk
absolutely.
about
Yeah.
the high school journey, man. Brookhaven. They got a documentary out on the Haven.
Yeah,
The Haven done it's almost like, you know, I feel like it should have been a historic building, you know what I mean? Like they should have treated it as such and kept it, you know, cuz they could have easily, you know, dedicated that to the city, you know what I mean? First city team to win a state championship. Talk about those memories, man. What's some of those memories that y'all remember about that year? Other than, you know, smacking up on Pig Central, man. Like I was a bystander. I remember seeing that. I felt so bad, you know, but you know, talk about some of those memories, man, and some of those things that you feel like kind of propelled y'all into where you at now.
um, I think Keith can attest to this, but we worked our asses off, not like a typical high school team. We had a lot of coaches who had been at the collegiate level, and so they brought a lot of that, to us. And so how we practice, from the way we watch film, everything was meticulous, and it was geared towards making us better players and preparing us for the next level. Again, I think Keith can attest to, coming from Marion Franklin, coming to Brookhaven, it was different. It was different from the way that we practiced, from the way that we watched film, just the structure that we had, right? The verbiage, the language, all of that was a few steps up. And so, Brookhaven, the factory, as I call it, produced a lot of great athletes, but also had a lot of great coaches, right? A lot of great coaches. Um, and I just know that, we knew that we had something special. Um, and once we was able to get uh, Keith and Alex and Twan and Juan Goodell, um, from Linda McKinley, we had lost the previous year in the Final Four, but I knew if we can get those guys, it would give us a legit chance to get back to the state championship and have an opportunity to do something that no one else had ever done. And so I think we found out pretty quickly during a 7-on-7 at Miami, Ohio. It was a big 7-on-7, and we got to the fight, and then like that was a moment where like we all kind of came together. It was just like you had people from different schools, and we bonded. I think at that moment we knew like, all right, yeah, we about to be special this year.
Right.
And so we had a few injuries along the way. I think my senior year, I think I might have missed 4 games. I think Keith might have missed a few. Alex Daniels missed about 3, 4 games,
Yeah.
just different injuries. But we were still able to rock on, and we wasn't the main player. I mean, we had good players. We had
Yeah.
Jeff Cumberland, we had Mike McGee, we had Preston King, rest of so. We had Melvin Jackson. We had, I don't know, forget some people, but like we weren't. We had Rodney Holmes and some other good players. So it definitely wasn't the Keith and DJ show, just us by ourselves.
Right.
But we definitely were kind of heading that. But again, Brookhaven will forever be, live on in the city of Columbus. And I think that again, us having the opportunity to win that state championship, man, was dope. And we did something that nobody could ever take away from us.
Yeah.
Nah,
Uh,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead, Keith.
No, absolutely. I think, coming from Marion Franklin, I always say like, man, Marion Franklin raised me, but Brookhaven made me. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even from afar, looking at Brookhaven when we were at Marion Franklin, you knew that like how tough they were. You know what I'm saying? And for me, when that opportunity came up about the transfer, I had already written my own ticket to go. To whatever school. I had a couple offers before. I'm going up there, so I always tell people like I knew when we went up there, like we were going to win the state championship. I just felt like that because we were the missing pieces to what they needed, maybe. But I only went to school up there because, really honestly, because it was just like, oh, this is an opportunity to get to know my brother, while, playing a game of football. But it was secondary to me. Um, but on the football side of things, once we got out there, we learned like how serious it was, the discipline, you know, um, that they instilled in us, and it was just like what you normally would get from an OCC coaching staff, we were getting that
Mm-hmm.
from a city coaching staff. So it was just like that, combined with our talent, it was just like, man, we were practicing against the best players in practice, so the games were easy. And like under their leadership, a DJ Melvin, Drees, and those guys that were, they were Brookhaven lifers. They had been there, you know, for a while. I mean, their whole high school career,
Mm-hmm.
it was easy. They made it easy for us to fit in. And again, it was just times where it was just like like and practicing before the season even started. I'm like, yo, we're gonna take it there, and that was just like it was just a given to me that it was gonna happen.
I think y'all you talk about the grit and you talk about the grind that it took, to win that championship, um, and then putting all the pieces together. What's the backbone of Legacy U? Because it feels like that is a big part of it. Like, what I mean? That's why I asked y'all about the Brookhaven days, because a lot of times we find ourselves really just reinvesting and putting out the same energy we either got at one point in time or what we needed to be better. Talk about the
Yeah.
legacy of the backbone of the Legacy U.
For sure. I think, man, it's so funny, man, how we think sometimes because like I was in grad school and I was in a nonprofit class and I had to create a nonprofit, right? And at the time it was Massey Academy and I had created this nonprofit and it really was just involved tutoring, after school tutoring and after school sports performance training, right? And I remember, me and DJ had talked on the phone once I had got home from school, and I remember him saying like, I got this idea, for basically like for some programming or whatnot. And I
Mm-hmm.
just remember him bringing it to us, and we were maybe sitting in his living room, and we were talking. I was just like, oh shit, like what I'm saying. And exactly what it was what were we missing? Because we had a lot when it came to sports, but what were we missing outside of sports that could have prepared us more for college, could have prepared us more for life, you know? And growing up for me, for sure, growing up without a father, there was a lot of things that was missing, like as far as character development, as far as
Mm-hmm.
ways that I needed to carry myself, as far as dealing with women, things of that nature, and when he brought that when we kind of had that conversation about how this programming should go and how it should look, it all started with a conversation, but ideas that we both had, developed far before we had that conversation, and I think, man, that was the kind of like the foundation of where it started, was just like the lack, like where can we fill in these holes for these
Mm-hmm.
kids that's growing up just like us, to make them again go as far as they can without having to being able to avoid those hurdles and obstacles that we kind of had to and we didn't know how to deal with. And if we did give them that opportunity, that there would be a lot more kids that might be able to make it out of here and stay out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say a couple things. The backbone of legacy for me, um, I think that what I kind of pulled from Brookhaven, I kind of stuck with me was one goal, one dream, one team, and what it means to sacrifice. I think the backbone of the legacy is teaching the kids that it's we over me, right? And that's in all areas
Mm-hmm.
of life. Like, what can you do for others, right? Like, you haven't fully lived your purpose until You have done things for people who could never repay you, and you don't mention it, right? Like how do we instill that type of hard work and understanding into kids, right? Is to be selfless, and that's what we were, right? Keith played offense and defense coming from Aaron Franklin. He was one of the go-to guys. When he got to Brookhaven, he was more of just strictly a corner. I mean, he played offense every now and then. And then I think about myself. I played pretty much corner the entire time. Um, and when Keith came over, I moved back to safety my senior year, right? So you talk about sacrifice, um, you know, like that's what we did, right? And I think we kind of taking that same mode, taking that same model, bringing it into legacy. It's just never being satisfied, right? Never feeling like we got it all figured out. Like I said before, it's the understanding of you got to set the bar, you got to set the standard, then you got to set it again, then you got to set it again, right? And that's how you continue to separate yourself. But continuing to be selfless, right? We's over me's. I think it's some of the things that our own company is built on right now.
Talk about some of the things that you guys are doing, in the community right now. Some of the things that you guys have actively going, things that people may not know of that they possibly could be a part of. I mean, you
Yeah.
see all the little mini teams, and you guys. I mean, it almost looked like. It's crazy. Them videos too. Whoever shot them videos, they fired from creator to creator. I love those videos, bro. I was geeking because it just feels so. Y'all giving them an experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But talk about some of the things y'all got going on right now.
Man, we got our summer youth initiatives that are going on right now. So you'll see us probably post tomorrow. We got our Tackling the Books program. What is tackling the books is the emphasis on literacy. If you understand literacy and how it affects incarceration and violence rate of our young black and brown boys, that's why we got an interest and a focus on literacy. So we got that going on. We got some college tours coming up this summer. We probably going to take a few kids out to Colorado to go check out Prime. So that's gonna be pretty dope. And that's breaking news because we really ain't talked about that yet. We
Hey,
divulge that. Um, so we can
exclusive.
be that. Yeah,
I
sure.
appreciate it.
We also got our youth teams. Obviously, we got 7 youth teams right now. Those teams will be traveling all over the country. Out of the 7 teams, 3 of them finished number 2 in the country last year, and so that's pretty dope in itself. We also be having some. We'll have a violence prevention a seminar for kids, grades 6 through 9. That's usually pretty dope, man. You usually get about 250 kids out, man, and it's all fun, interactive type stuff, man. But we're really just talking to all things youth violence and how to just progress themselves as young men and young women. Things that issues that we might want to attack and talk about. Open forums. It's usually a dope day, and obviously we got the training, so you can pop over to Legacy U gym and whether speed, conditioning, strength training, one-on-one coaching, small team coaching. So we got that over there as well.
Is that every
Um,
day?
yeah, so we pretty much open every day. We got different trainers in there, so
Okay.
depending on what you're looking for or whatnot, we pretty much got a trainer for you over there. So, but yeah, man, it's so much, man. Obviously, we got our partnership with the Cleveland Browns, and so we've been taking kids for the past 2 years. We've been taking kids up and down the highway to make sure that we're able to continue to get those kids exposure and opportunities, and not only just see professional athletes and how they practice and what do they do, but also just to let them know that's obtainable, right? Like sometimes seeing is
Right.
just believing. So getting the kid out of them circumstances, getting them out of their environment, out of their neighborhoods, and into an environment that they've only seen on TV
Right.
puts that extra emphasis on like, yo, one day that can be me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
you'll hear me and Keith talk about experience and exposure opportunities all the time. So, but yeah, man, that's a lot of stuff we got going on right now.
And where's the gym at? Where's it
Um,
located?
The gym is off Parsons Avenue, Parsons and Klein, 506 Klein, 506 Klein Street, right by South High School, right down the street from South High School, on Klein Street. Big red door, you can't miss it with the big red and black U on the building. You can't miss it neither. So we've been there. Um, it's going on. It'd be 3 years.
Okay,
I think.
nice.
Keith, it'd be three. It'd be
Four.
4 years.
4
4
years.
years
Maybe
in
four, yeah.
August. For August, it'd be 4 years, man. So yeah, man. That's been pretty dope too.
Talk about the climate of high school football right now. Obviously transfer portal being open, then being closing like halfway through last year because too many people transferring and trying to get to different teams. How does that impact you guys as trainers, as as people that's trying to lead these kids on a legacy when they're bouncing around all these different places?
I mean, for us, looking at the landscape, it's just Little League football is the same as college football right now. I seen a post today where, Florida just, putting into play NIL deals for high school players, right? So the landscape it's becoming about money, and I think for sure that these kids that's making these programs a lot of money definitely deserve, a piece of that. But even here at Little League, and DJ can attest to this for sure. Is just, man, it's musical chairs, man. What's the best place for my kid? And maybe your kid ain't just ready just yet for any of those legacy youth teams, but again, man, I think our when we first started these teams, man, our hope was, to kind of start bringing the city together and being able to go represent Ohio and Columbus specifically, in Florida, Texas, California, because as a country, man, I think a lot of the top states look down on Ohio. They kind of say we only can get linemen from there, so I think the landscape it's changing quickly, and next
Yeah.
thing you know, man, we'll have 10-year-olds getting NIL deals. So, just trying to get them prepared, man, and having them financial literacy classes so they know what to do with them couple of thousands they get to do Instagram ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think biggest thing for me is educating the parents. There's a lot of uneducated parents. A lot of parents. And a lot of people who are advising, there's a lot of people in kids' corners that ain't never been to where they trying to go to, if that makes sense. No different was from us. There was nobody that can tell me and Keith what to really expect day to day as a Division I college football player.
Right.
How to avoid the pitfalls. Hey, make sure you don't do this because I experienced it, not because of what I read in a book or what I seen on a movie. So now me and Keith have that knowledge. We have experience on top of experiences that we got firsthand that we can give these parents and kids
Yeah.
to ultimately help them navigate life better, right? So I think as I see kids jumping from place to place to place, I think Nick Saban said, like, I don't even want those kids. You know what I mean? Like somebody who can't be committed, somebody who can't, tough through tough times, all because you ain't, you pouting because you ain't get your way. Now you want to up and lead. Like, we ain't really teaching our kids nothing, but when something don't go right in your life, oh, okay, I'm gonna just pick up and go. And we all know life ain't really built that way. You don't like your job, I guarantee most people ain't walking their job tomorrow. So you know what? I don't like the job. I'm jumping to the next one. I'm quitting. Or you know what? The next year, 6 months later, I'm gonna go to this job.
Right.
Like, so I think that's kind of what's scary is that kids are getting a false sense of what life really is outside of sports, thinking that you could jump from spot to spot just because you don't like one person or you might not like a coach.
Yeah.
So I kind of hate that aspect.
When you talk about and you think about like parents and coaches, because to me that was something totally different. Like I really just started like shooting sports, like for real, like hold on one second. I think Keith's trying to jump back in. I just started shooting sports and I'm looking down the sideline. I'm like, all these trainers, like, and it's like so bad to where like the players are looking at the trainers before they go into their coach. You know what I mean? Like, I really like. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like I discredit. I credit Pick Central this year for doing a lot of that. And I feel like it really just broke their focus from being in the game. You're so busy
Yeah.
about what your trainer is saying. Talk about from a trainer's perspective, because you're on that. You will be maybe one of those guys on that end, right? Plus, you're also a
Yeah.
coach too and a leader. Talk about, just the difficulties in navigating that playing field and how do you balance it, and from your
Yeah.
perspective, you get what I'm saying? Like, because
Yeah.
it seemed really, it almost seems like it's like too much is too much, right? And it's like you see these trainers and stuff, and you're like, all right, well, like, should coaches start banning trainers from coming to games, like, or would you adopt the practice of coaches should start hiring trainers to come into these programs to do the work?
Nah, I know Keith got opinions on this heavy, so I'm gonna go first because I'm just real
He
swift,
cleaning
man.
the camera. He cleaning the camera. You know it's about to get real.
But um, as a trainer, man, one, you'll probably rarely ever see me um repost a lot of kids that I work with all over my social media. I don't knock nobody who do, but for me, it's a preference. I think that social media has really pushed a lot of kids into a space where every little thing that they do has to be put onto the net, and they looking for the social media validation of the work or the fake work that they're actually doing because they know what type of clout it'll get them. You can go do a 10-minute workout, but if you know how to be social media savvy, you can make that 10-minute workout like it was the best workout
Yeah,
ever, right?
yeah.
Really didn't do shit, right?
Right. You hired me. I got you
Yeah,
right.
right. And from a training perspective, I think it's too many people that are money grabbing,
Mm,
to be honest. And but everybody's looking for the trainer, etc., man. And but there's a lot of trainers that aren't fully experts at training. You know what I mean?
right.
And so it has diluted um, that product a little bit, but I also think that as a coach, you want these kids to have different relationships. You want them to have people who are invested. You want them to have a village, but you
Right.
also want the village, but the village can also sink you too. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm-hmm.
village can actually be work against you sometimes. And as a coach, it is disappointing sometimes to have cats running routes that they might have seen off Instagram or doing shit that they ain't coached to do because they seen
Right.
it online or the trainer told them this or told them that. It's like,
Right.
because you still got to do your thing within a scheme. I
Mm-hmm.
talked about being selfless. Sometimes that shit, you got to work within the scheme of your team to make your money. You feel what I'm saying? To make you
Right.
so, but I say I know Keith got his opinions on trainers and you know just how it's affecting the game.
Nah, I
Keith, you have
think
the
I think
floor.
for sure. I mean, you hit it kind of on the head, man. With I see some of the kids, man. They go to six to seven different trainers,
Mm,
and it's just like, how do you build rapport with the trainer if you're changing trainers every 2 to 3 weeks?
mm-hmm.
And I think every trainer has different philosophies, right? Every different trainer has a different way about going about things, right? So really what you're doing is you're confusing your kid by taking him to every trainer that you see pop up on your feed, like, oh, this looks good. What he doing? We're gonna go over and try this out. And you go and try it out, like we said earlier in the conversation, is just that it's about being consistent, building out a program for a kid. You got to give the trainers enough time to know and understand the kid, and how well they're moving, what they need to work on, and things of that nature. And again, if you bounce it from trainer to trainer, it's not gonna, it's not gonna work out in your favor. I see kids that's training 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I see kids that they got a receiver coach, they got a DB coach, they got a strength and conditioning coach, they got a movement coach, they got a coach that just throws them the ball the whole training session, and it's just like, I'm like, where? Sometimes I'm big on counting pockets, right? I'm like, where are they getting all this money to pay these trainers? And it's just like, man, it gets expensive. And I know it's an investment that, some parents like, all right, I just want to put it all into my kid to see if they can do it, but it's a right way and a wrong way. And I think, and a lot of the time, man, these trainers, like DJ said, man, it's a money grab, and it's just like, like, are you really teaching these kids, you know, um, the right thing? Because at 6 years old, how much sport specific training can you be doing when you don't even know the fundamentals of moving, breaking down, change of direction, speed
Right.
work, you know, um, and again, it's just, parents, it's the parents. And like DJ said earlier, like, man, you got to educate the parents on what's right and what's wrong. And you can't be getting duped by any and every Instagram video you see, man. It's a lot of cute stuff that's going on that doesn't work in the game, and that's why
Yeah.
your son is not being as successful as you think he should, because you spent thousands of dollars in the off season. Now we do have some very good trainers here in Columbus, but I would say, like, once you get your one or two, like, stick with them, and see how this program works out for a year or
Yeah.
two to see if your kid is really progressing. Your kid doesn't need seven trainers. I don't care what level you at. In an NFL, they don't have seven trainers, and they don't train 7 days a week. And let these kids have some normal play time where they're just out running around, riding bikes, playing basketball.
Right.
When's the
Being
last time you
kids.
seen a group of kids riding? Yeah, exactly. When's the last time y'all seen a group of kids riding bikes? You know what I'm
I
saying?
see it out here in
They don't.
Pickerington a lot, but it's Pickerington too.
God, right, exactly. Yeah, right, exactly. But I remember days where I walked outside at 8 a.m. And didn't get back home until about 6 o'clock. Where I was just outside playing, pure
Yeah.
unadulterated playing, running around, just doing whatever. Kids don't do that anymore. Everything is, they got a calendar. I'm here this day, I'm here that day, I'm here that day. And I think, man, for real, honestly, we should kind of like educate the parents more on how training should work. And I
How
think that's
could
the
that
that's the
happen?
job of the trainer.
How can that happen? Because I feel like what one thing I see, and this is just from a creator perspective, like when I'm working with like different trainers, different businesses, different people that's in y'all space, it seems like the only thing that's bringing division is the fact that these kids trainer hop. Like and it seems like behind the scenes it just creates division between the trainers, because it's like, I'm trying to help you. Legacy could be trying to help a kid go this way, and this other program is taking kids this way. You get what I'm saying? So like they're like, but you're paying me and you paying them. You get what I'm saying? Like, so how do you
Yeah,
bring awareness to that? Like, hey, y'all causing more division than we is togetherness.
yeah,
I mean, for me, man, I just think, bro, we gotta operate in truth and honesty. Um, and I think that sometimes that causes controversy, but at the end of the day, man, like, I'm here for kids. I don't care if a kid trains with me or not. Um, is he getting the grades that he needs? Is he out of trouble? Is he thriving? Right? I don't really care. I always say, if Legacy is training 100 kids throughout the year, if Legacy has another 50 kids in the summer program and taking another 25 kids on a college tour, it's like, that still is not even a fraction of the kids who still need the help out here. Legacy can still
Yeah.
only train so many
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we we're never mad at other trainers, and or anything like that, because again, kids working now is kids off the street, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's a level of just honesty that we gotta have with ourselves as grown men, training up young kids. We know what's good for them, what's not, right? And we got to be better OGs when it come to that, right? If there's somebody that, because we've done it, yo, listen, I think such and such is probably a better, right? Hey, I'm gonna send you such and such contact so you can go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, at that, like, it's not about money. It's just about
Mm-hmm.
what's best for this kid if you really want this kid to go
Right.
succeed. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I think you got to get to a certain comfort in a certain place. I always tell people, whether these kids make it to the NFL or they don't, my lifestyle won't change.
Right.
It just won't. My legacy won't change whether a kid make it to a D1 college or not. Like my legacy won't change. Like you get what I'm saying. So that keeps me grounded and doing shit for the right reasons. And I turn down money. Well, can I pay you $150 to train, my 5-year-old son. It's like, bro, give bro a chance to, like, he not about to
Take him
like,
to
give
the
him a
park.
chance to grow up. Yeah,
Take him to the
you know
park.
what I mean. And so I think it's going to take more of that. And lastly, what else is it going to take? It's going to take for parents getting out the way. Some parents just can't get out the way. Some parents are going to be the demise of their kids' downfall. And that's a hard concept for some parents because it's like, well, you don't want the caring father? It's like, nah, we do. We don't want the caring.
Right.
Nah, we do. Nah, we want the caring parents, but uncoachable kids become unemployable adults,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if that is the case, which I believe that it is, at every level, the guys who were uncoachable seemingly fell off the wagon and aren't doing shit with their lives right now. The ones that were uncoachable, it's just where are they at today? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
But so I think that parents literally have to let coaches be the coach. And sometimes that's a hard concept, but parents can get in the way. And if you can't trust a coach to not interrupt him and interrupt his coaching or her coaching, if you gotta feel the need to go backdoor everything a coach teaches your kid, if you gotta feel the need to go backdoor and retract it or debunk
Right.
it,
Right.
you probably don't need to have your kid with that coach. You probably just need to find another coach that you can trust in. You know what I mean? So again,
Right.
part is gonna be parents getting out the way and OGs being OGs.
Nah, man. I think
I
that's
think,
perfectly said. Go ahead, Keith.
yeah, absolutely. Now I was about to say, I think for us, man, and when we started this thing was to build a platform big enough to share, and I think with this training stuff and in the football stuff, man, it almost feels like we've done the wrong thing, and we've helped, in that causing the divide, I used to want to when I was younger, I used to want to be the best trainer, and now my mindset is just to like we're one of 3 or 4 black owned sports performance training facilities in Columbus, in all of Columbus, right? And it's just like, I know some people don't have the resources to go and get their own space. So it's just like, how can we collab with trainers, other sports specific training coaches that can do the wide receiver training, DB training, lineman training, and things of that nature. And I think, man, because we have been successful in the things that we've been doing, it's kind of like, well, why would I want to go join a winning team when I kind of want to just beat them? And it's like, can't really beat anybody at training.
Right.
Come join us and we can,
Right.
come join us and we can make some of the best training programs that there are, in the city, and I think we've been posting flyers asking for this, there's some young, ambitious trainers out there that's real hungry, and they just need to start. And it's just like, not, like, why not start with us and, and help build your profile, and again, under our tutelages, you can become, everything that you want to be. And I think that's what it's always been about, is just, building a platform that we can share,
Yeah.
and I think for our city, man, we say it all the time, man, our city is just so divided that, man, it gets real tough out there.
Man, I think that's every platform, that's every space, that's whether you're in videography, photography, a hooper, a football player, whether you live in the burbs or you live in the city. I feel like, man, it's so much just division, and I don't think there's enough platforms that even allow people to come together. You get what I'm saying? Like there's conversations that may need to be had, but sometimes you need a safe space to be able to have those conversations too. You know what I mean? And I think what you guys are doing is amazing, though. And I wanted to recognize that. I feel like, I've been sitting kind of, on the back burner, just watching, you know, because I like to just watch people and see how they move and see what it actually becomes. You know what I mean? I remember when y'all had the ribbon cutting. You know, I wanted to come do the video for it, but
Yeah.
then I couldn't make it out. But just to see like the ribbon cutting happen and now to see like athletes really benefiting from something that I feel like two guys came together and didn't have to do, right? Like you don't have to pour energy and time into these kids on top of taking care of your own families, taking care of your own life, making sure you keep your sanity, right? Like, but y'all doing it, you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of flowers there to be given, you know, even right now, you know what I mean? I feel like the city has recognized y'all as definitely one of those programs, you know, one of them.
Yeah. No, no, brothers, we appreciate you just for allowing us to come on this platform, man, and chop it up and speak. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know, I tell people all the
Yeah.
time, man, this seat is it's a tough one, man, because when you get to a certain level, um, the same people that you are trying to help sometimes are the same people that try to bring you down, right? And you have to find a way and have the mental toughness to navigate it. So, what does Brookhaven teach us, and like, what did it teach us? Like our journey, like it taught us how to be, you know, strong-minded. You know what I mean? Going through tough workouts, and you know, we didn't know what it was preparing the foot, but I related to that. It's like, man, you're not gonna let these people, you know, bring us down, and
Right.
we're not gonna let this discourage us or that discourage us. You know, we're just gonna keep rolling on. And so, you know, we've collaborated with a lot of different people. I think we understand that we much rather, instead of owning 100% of nothing, we rather own 10% of something. And that could be in a relationship, that could be our own business, that could be in a collaboration, that could be in anything, that we rather, you know, collaborate and get the win than do it ourselves and almost win and or lose or not have as much impact. You know what I mean? You could do a lot in this world, not just with sports, but you could do a lot, and you can achieve a lot when you don't care who gets the credit. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And you know, and again, we try to live that. We try to preach it. We live it, and hopefully that'll be some of the things that individuals around us can take with them.
Yeah. Talk about any last words, man, last gems as we wrap it up, man, just for any other trainers that's out there, anybody that's inspiring to kind of do what you guys are doing, that's looking at y'all behind the scenes and just, you know, trying to, you know, some people just, that's why social media is so bad, because people just try to put the pieces together, you know,
Yeah.
like on through pictures and videos, and you can't do that. But any words of wisdom that y'all can drop on anybody that's trying to pursue the same thing y'all trying to pursue.
Mm,
Let me go first because I know he's gonna have something
mm,
profound, super profound to say at the end. I think, man, for me, man, it's quite simple, man. You know, you might not see me, you might not hear from me a lot. You know, I'm not a big social media guy, but I am working. I am in the gym, you know, 24/7. And I think, man, if there's any coaches, trainers, even the guys that are our age or whatever or whoever is, you know, you're trying to get in the business. I mean, we have a lot of knowledge, you know, we have a lot of experiences where again we can just help be a guide, you know, and not that every coach or every trainer should come to legacy, but just, man, you know, we got to start building communities and villages for each other, and not just the kids but for each other as well, and trying to navigate and get to the places where we're at, man. Because I mean, if I can help a trainer, you know, that's just getting in the game, you know, you know, like just start learning how how it works and the processes. I think, man, that'd be great for me. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's why I created this stuff, so we can help people again get up there with us. It's kind of lonely, you know, when you're kind of like standing at the top and you're like, yo, like you want people, you want to help people, but they're like, nah, like we want to kind of try to figure it out on our own. So for me, it's just like, yo, like we only stronger together, you know, and we're open book. You know, I'm giving advice or giving resources to anybody and everybody that's asking for them, you know. And I think, man, just reach out, reach out.
Wonderful. DJ.
Yeah. Um, I mean, my advice to any individual that's looking to do what we do, or it doesn't even have to be anything that we're doing. Just looking to be successful, whatever field you got going, man. You're gonna go through every emotion. You know what I mean? To get to pursue what you're trying to do. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And um, I that's one of my favorite sayings from Nipsey is literally like you're gonna go through every emotion trying to pursue, what you're trying to pursue, and that's what makes it worth it, right? Don't think that you're gonna come into any profession and you're gonna be an instant overnight success. It just ain't gonna happen. I think Ice Cube posted and said one time that like, man, if you ain't prepared to go at least 5 years without making a dime, like
Mm-hmm.
don't even start your business. You know what I mean? And don't I tell you all the time, man, don't let it, fool you. We've sacrificed a lot to be where we at right now. And we've taken money that we thought that we were going to be able to, have for our own selves and re-put it and reinvested it and you know what I mean? So the product and the brand can, build itself, but it's a lot of sacrifice. You know what I mean? And so if you ain't really ready to sacrifice, um, it's gonna show. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
What's real and authentic is going to prevail, and what's not is going to eventually fall off. There's some cats that started off 5 years ago that and it's like today's like where they at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that grind just wasn't real, right? That sacrifice was maybe only for 1 year, but I ain't willing to sacrifice more than that. Well, you probably ain't gonna last. You probably ain't gonna last, right?
Mm-hmm.
My other thing I would say too, like Keith said, man, seek the help. Me and Keith was we did a lot of on the job learning. We were self taught. A lot of this stuff, self taught. You know what I mean? We waste a lot of money and time and energy just learning about different things. Learning about how to properly set up your business. Learning about the nonprofit world, certain numbers and certain codes and certain certification that you need to have, and owning a building and a gym, certain codes and certain things. It's like we just didn't know a lot of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Business banking, business. Basically a business credit score. You know what I mean? It's just so much that we didn't know, but we know now. Being in the game for 5 years, it's just like most people, bro. If you want to sit down and have a conversation with us, Keith might charge you a consultation fee. You know what I'm saying? But that
That's
consultation fee is going to be way less expensive than what you would if you get out here and and mess stuff up. Now you got to redo it. You know what I mean? Like get
Mm-hmm.
the information right the first time, um, and then you're gonna be cool. Last thing I'll say is this: don't cheat the brand from a look and feel standpoint. If you look across all of our legacy platform, I don't care if it's gonna be photos, flyers. You just talked about the promotional videos we did for our youth teams. It's like we got a thing right here. Let's not shortcut what this thing looks like. You know what I mean? We gonna
Right.
if we gonna do it, let's make sure we put the time, energy, and resources to make sure that it's the best product that it could possibly be. Because that's your brand. Like that's literally what you have to introduce to the world, and you never want to look cheap or you never want it to look like people didn't put no love and care into it. So don't cheat that marketing. No, you can't do it. Don't cheat it.
Well said. Well said, man. Well said. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate having y'all on, man. I think one of the biggest things, for me, and I try to, always make this very clear, is that this platform, nothing gets done once, right? You can read the Bible once, and you're not probably going to get nothing out of it if you read that same verse over and over and over. And so, I think a lot of the big part of, the reason, like you said, uneducated, use my platform, use this platform
Mm-hmm.
to get out there to get that message out there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, that's what we built this platform for, is to connect with people that's already changing the game and see what how can we help? You know what I mean? How can we provide some type of platform just to get the message out there? Like, hey, you know, if parents need to back up, hey, you know what I mean? Like that, I would rather know this as a parent, what to expect when I come to Legacy U versus, you know, finding out and having to deal with things on the back end, right? And you know, everybody's entitled to their own emotions, how they want to raise their kids, everything. But if you want structure, if that comes with a lot, right? Like it's almost heavier than the person wearing the crown to say you want structure in your life and to really go after it. So, you know, use this place as a platform, man. You know, like I said, it's available to you guys.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Well, y'all enjoy y'all's night, man, and we definitely got to have y'all back on here, man, soon, man. Talk about anything else y'all got going on, maybe post-summer, you know, what we looking like going into the fall. We definitely make it happen.
Yep.
Say less, man. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having us on, man, and keep doing what you're doing, big dog.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all have a great one.
All right.
Yeah. So we just wrapped it up with DJ and Keith Massey. That was a phenomenal talk, man. Those guys are doing amazing things in the industry here in Columbus, Ohio. They're doing a lot of things just as trainers. Legacy U. It's in the name. It's in the name, man. So make sure y'all go peep them, man, and make sure you go follow them. If you haven't been paying attention, below on the ticker board is all their information. You can go follow them today and be able to see everything that they're doing to be a game changer. Once again, like always, this episode is in collaboration with Power State 5. And, you know, Dom couldn't make it today. But, you know, we here, man. We got it done. And next episode coming up, it's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a good one. And I can't wait to show y'all, and stay tuned, man. Make sure y'all go click that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me at I Am Eddie Jackson. Follow Directors Den Podcast on Twitter, YouTube, IG, all the social media platforms, man. We live. You already know who it is. It's the Directors Den with your boy. Let's get it.
You ain't gotta pick me up. Ain't no hands out for free. We getting bigger now. We just try to live it up. Took a couple years to see. They get the picture now. Moments like Kodak, Tiny Desk, Go Mac. Life before the net when people tried to learn the whole facts. Amazon, Bezos, monopolize the pesos. Hey, you see, I'm trying to change the motherfucking game.
Yeah, alright, so that's it right there.